Hello, my name is Willie Ellis.
And I'm Irvin Ellis, and we're Ellis Brothers Builders from Castlewood, Virginia.
What we do is Ellis Brother Builders. We're custom woodworkers. We do mainly custom furniture and timber framing, and we also dabble in some blacksmithing as well. Today, we're actually going to be talking about this contraption here that I'm sitting on. It has many different names, but I always refer to it as a shave horse. And basically what a shave horse is just a foot-powered clamp. And this particular one is a German style, and it dates back to at least the 1500s, but they really have their origins that go back even to the Greek times. And if you can tell by looking, it actually looks like a horse, you know, with the four legs, and this right here is what's known as a dumb head. And like I say, it's just a foot-powered clamp, a lever, and it's really good for working things like shingles. Like if you ripped out a bunch of shingles and you need to just finish them up, and the more pressure you put on that, the more pressure it puts up here. So it's really good to hold things in place and frees you up. And it's also good not only for shingles, but also for round as well. For instance, making pegs for timber framing. And of course, you can go from a draw knife to an actual spoke shave. So you could actually make spokes for a wagon wheel too with this. But we'll talk about more of the round pegs and some of the other projects, many projects you can do with a shave horse. So there will be a 2-day class coming up here at Joshua School on actually how to construct one of these shave horses. So in 2 days, you'll actually walk away with one of these shave horses to take home. And you'll learn, we're going to combine the different techniques. You'll learn many techniques, everything from riving wood for the legs, to sawing, to hand hewing. For instance, the dumb head here, this particular dumb head is made out of gum, black gum right here, and it's an interlocking species, so it helps prevent it from cracking so much. Of course, you use a lot of the bit and braces, learning how to lay off with a square, and learning how to use a hatchet properly. So you're going to be doing some hewing and some riving and some draw knifing and spoke shaving. And in a 2-day period, you should come out with a shave horse. So the technology of this shave horse actually dates back for many centuries. There's actually a drawing that dates back to the 1500s where this German style was actually used in construction. But I've actually read that the shave horse actually finds its roots all the way back into the times of the Greek. So there are many different things that you can use a shave horse for. So here in a minute, we're going to go and show you some of the projects that you can use with a shave horse. Right now, we're going to show one of the other uses for a shave horse, and that has to do with timber framing. Right here is a sample of a rafter, a Scotch joint rafter, and how it fits together. If this was a top plate, how the notches and everything fit right together. However, it still needs to be secured with something. In this case, a peg, which the traditional word would be called a trunniel or a tree nail, and it's basically a wooden nail. Now, commercially, they'd be made with a wood lathe. So you see it looks all perfect and pretty and round, and that may seem like that's a better choice. However, traditionally, you would make it with a shave horse and a draw knife and a spoke shave. So you can see it's not as perfect. However, you're leaving a lot of the grain, so that's going to give the peg or the trunniel a lot more strength and integrity. So Irvin right there will take a piece of square stock that we rived out of white oak and just basically start shaving it down from square to more of an octagon. And then if you wanted to finish it up a little bit with a actual spoke shave, you could. But that right there is what will give this joint the strength to keep it in place.
In this process, I will switch back and forth between my draw knife and my spoke shave, just depending on how that I have my peg in the spoke shave here. If you'll notice, I keep turning it, and that way I can get all the corners knocked off, and I'll also go back and forth between tools as well. You can see it's starting to take shape right now. And like I said before, I'll go back and forth, just continuously switching on however my wood grain is running and however it's turned.
Sometimes you may have a problem with the wood trying to slip out on you. And in that case, if you have an old piece of leather, it could be an old leather belt or even part of a leather boot. Sometimes I use the tongue of an old leather boot. And sometimes you can wrap it around whatever piece of wood you're working on. And that gives you a little more friction and keeps things from sliding out while you're working on things.
So as you can tell, you can see pretty much what the basics of this is. It's just to do stuff round for handles or pegs or just anything pretty much round that you need. And we're going to show you a couple more things here.
I've used the shave horse to really, if you ever have an axe handle or a hatchet handle that may be a little tight to fit in and you have to shave off a little bit to get a good tight fit, this is perfect for that. Or even if you have to make one from scratch. In this case, here's a tomahawk that I forged out, and I had to make a handle for it. And I really didn't even realize that unlike an axe or a hatchet, a tomahawk handle doesn't go in from the bottom up, but it actually goes from the top down. So as you can tell, it's a little skinnier than a regular axe or a hatchet handle, and it has to be that way because it fits right in. So I actually just started out, in this case I used cherry because I like cherry lumber, and just started out with square stock. And this particular draw knife is very special to me. A friend of mine, he's 96 years old, a World War II veteran named Mr. Moore. He actually fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Anyway, we became friends, and he found out that I love to do woodworking, and he called me one day and said he had a gift for me, but it was in his barn. He had to go find it. So when I went to visit him, he gave me this draw knife. So this draw knife is very special to me. But anyway, I just started by roughing it down. I always knock the corners off first. And the eye of this tomahawk is more of a teardrop. So after just a few minutes, work it from square to get it more of a teardrop shape. And just by trial and error, you just have to keep fitting it in, and it'll go up so far, and I find out where I have to shave off a little more where it's tight. I'll put it back in, and I'll do some fine shaving with the little spoke shave. I'll put it back in, and where it's tight, I'll mark it again with a pencil until I finally get the desired result. So in this case, that's a tomahawk handle. Besides making handles and pegs and shingles, you know, this has other uses too. It can actually be used as a good saw bench, as you can tell. I actually had to use it yesterday as a saw bench. It's really good to put your lumber down and clamp down with the knee, or sometimes you may have to sit on it. Other people can actually drill a hole right here and actually make what I call a peg maker. You can take a galvanized plumbing flange and maybe a 6 or 8 inch galvanized nipple pipe, grind it down on the tops of it, and you can actually drive square stock into it and make round pegs. So you can keep a bucket beneath you, and you just sit here, and even if you had to rough out, knock off some of the corners with a draw knife and then finish it up with your peg maker, it's perfect for that as well.
So as you can see, we've done several things here with the shave horse today. There's different variations of shave horses, and it would be a pleasure to have you come to this class that we're going to be teaching. Go to woodenshop.com and check out Joshua Farnsworth, and not only this class, but a line of other classes that he teaches, Wooden Shop Traditional Woodworking.
This is Joshua Farnsworth. If you're interested in learning traditional woodworking with hand tools, visit my website at woodandshop.com, where you can find free video tutorials, workshop tours of amazing traditional woodworkers, and tool buying guides. You can ask questions and share your projects with thousands of woodworkers on my free traditional woodworking forum. Make sure you subscribe to my regular blog posts, and also check out my 10 steps for getting started in traditional woodworking. Enjoy!